What is up, trainers, and welcome back to another episode of Bros and Badges. Today, we're going to get a little controversial.
Bros and Badges, gotta collect them all.
Game Freak, has their imagination throughout the years withered? Are the designs just not as strong as they used to be? Is it better back in the day where we had an actual Pokeball as a Pokemon, as opposed to having an ice cream as a Pokemon? Well, today Zach and I are going to discuss kind of our take on whether or not the Pokemon designs have gotten worse over the years. As each generation ticks, are we just kind of losing that magic? And Zach, there's no better way to start it than asking you, how do you feel? Do you think that Game Freak has lost its touch 30 years in? Like, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, you kind of already touched on this, but like, let's be real. They made an ice cream cone as a Pokemon. I think it's pretty safe to say at times they've run out of ideas. I don't know. I'm just saying. And then, like, even in Winds and Waves, there's been some comparisons to, like, Gekwa literally looking like a Littlest Pet Shop character. And, I mean, as much as I love Brout's my boy, his face is the same as an Angry Bird. Like, it literally is just, like, the same design as an Angry Bird. Although, I will say, there's a bunch of people I've told that to, and they're like, what is Angry Birds? And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I've gotten old. People don't even know what Angry Birds is anymore. We've gone a full circle. So, you know what? Maybe it doesn't matter. They've realized, oh, as long as it's 10 years old back, we can steal designs from this. And people won't even know. They won't even care. But I'm definitely on the fence that I think the designs have gotten weaker. That said, it comes with a caveat, because I think some people think that Game Freak was always just this, like, pure, like, you know, they never had gimmicky looking Pokemon. But even if we go back to Gen 1, like, you know, sure, we've got Vanillux, the ice cream Pokemon. But, like, in Gen 1, we had Hitmonchan, which is literally just like a boxing Pokemon. It's got boxing gloves and, like, boxing shorts. We had Machamp. Like, Machamp has a freaking, like, lucha belt or whatever. Like, it's got a winner's belt. Like, I don't know. Like obviously they had some gimmicky stuff. Like you mentioned, like, Voltorb is a Pokeball Pokemon. Like, that was a gimmick. Although I will say I actually really liked that in the original, in Kanto and Gen 1. The fact I was like, oh my gosh, that, like, I thought it was a Pokeball, but it's actually a Pokemon. Like, I don't know, that was kind of fire. But yeah, it's not like every design has been just like peak. You know, like, they literally had a guy called Sandslash, and they were like, well, he's got things that slash, and he's sandy, so I guess we'll call him Sandslash. You know, it's not this, like,
let's not forget about Seal, the literal seal Pokemon.
Yeah. Seal the seal. Yeah, that's my initial take. I have more to say, but what is your initial take? Like, are you like, okay, no, they've gotten worse, or no, they've gotten better, or they're consistent? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of happy that you laid it out like that, because I love when our kind of thoughts are differing from each other, and I think this is one of those times. I wouldn't say that their designs have gotten better, but I do think that they've kind of honed in on at least making what a Pokemon is more apparent, right? Because, like, yes, we look at Gen 10, one of the starters is a literal dog, okay? We like just straight up, not even really going a mythical route. It's just a Pomeranian with, like, a little red tip of hair dye, right? But at the same time, when you look at him, number one, you see the greatest boy ever made. Like, look at that little guy. He's so cute. Look at his little mouth. It's adorable, right? But on the other side of it, you know it's a Pokemon. And I think that is so interesting to me that they can literally take a bird, a gecko, and a Pokemon.
You said a bird, a gecko, and a Pokemon.
Yeah. And a Pokemon, yeah. That's
he's just a Pokemon. They took a Pokemon and they made it a Pokemon.
That's what Pom Pom is. He's just a Pokemon. There's no real world equivalent to that thing. Yeah, what would you even make that? But yeah, anyway, I think that just is proof that they've never really lost it. Sure, we have some, like, misses here and there, but overall, I would say that they've pretty much down-packed what it is to make a good Pokemon. And I kind of want to pass that to you. Is there a particular gen that pops out to you? Because I think that'll say a lot about, you know, where your head's at and where you're coming from with liking designs. What generation has really popped out as a whole to you?
As a whole, to me, this is kind of different, because my favorite is Hoenn. I absolutely love Gen 3, so I am a little bit like a purist in terms of, like, yeah, I do like some of the older designs. I really like Mudkip, I like Torchic, I like Trico, I like their final evolutions a lot too. But also, I choose Hoenn not just because of the starters, because I am going to say a little bit more about the starters that might surprise you later. But I think Hoenn for me I really liked because that region also felt like most of the Pokemon that were there belonged in that region. Like there's that whole section where you go through kind of like the tropical area and you've got like a Tropius is there. And like the Pokemon just really fit the environment. You've got like tropical kind of Pokemon and you've got like air type Pokemon. You've got like Altaria that really fits the city it's in, or like Four Tree City, etc. And so I just think like a lot of the Pokemon felt right in that world, and I don't always feel that in Pokemon games. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, they wanted to throw a pig in this, so there's a pig. But I mean, that said, that Oinkloin, is that his name?
Oinkloin, yeah.
Oinkloin?
Yeah, Oinkloin, yeah.
Oinkloin is definitely like one of my favorite Pokemon ever. So
it's shiny, by the
that
way, just
said-
makes it a pig. I just want to put that out there. It turns it pink. It just
makes it a pig.
Becomes a pig, like fully. Just
And see, that's a hit for me, but also at the same time in Scarlet and Violet, I don't really like the starters. I don't know. I liked Fuecoco. I mean, I even liked Sprigatito's, like their starters. I don't really care too much for their final Evos, to be honest. And I really don't like Quaxly's final Evo. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Just like this dancing. I don't know. Something about it. It's too gimmicky. But I'm also kind of over the like bipedal, like every evolution having to be bipedal. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like Scarlet and Violet. That said, I gotta give kudos where kudos is due. There are some of the later generations that I do really appreciate. I actually like Sword and Shield's lineup better than most. I think Scorbunny is a phenomenal design, and I really like. I even like its final Evo too. I like Rillaboom, and I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest, of how Sobble turned out, like the final Evo Inteleon. I think it's cool. Like each one has something to do with that region. It makes sense. You've got your soccer Pokemon, football. You've got your Rockstar Pokemon. You've got like Ringo Starr over there, and you've got James Bond. Like that's pretty rad. Like it is gimmicky. They went real Britishy, but at the same time, it's kind of rad. It's kind of cool. And like at least the designs are pretty strong. I like them. I'm also a really big fan of Gen 7. I absolutely love those designs, and that is, later. I love Sun and Moon's designs. I like Litten. I like, obviously, Rowlet. We talked about Rowlet recently in our grass starters. And then even Popplio. And I think Popplio and Primarina is not my favorite out of those. Like, it's probably my least favorite design, but even it is still striking. Like, having a mermaid type Pokemon is pretty cool. So yeah, I will say there's been hits and there has been misses. I think the overall lineup I kind of prefer from past games. Like, for instance, in Scarlet and Violet, I can't tell you like a ton of Pokemon that I absolutely love their designs, but I can tell you like 5 or 6 that I really like. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if I go back to Gen 1, all of those Pokemon are so immediately recognizable and interesting to me, but it does help that I have a lot of nostalgia for them too. I grew up with those Pokemon, so when that was the only Pokedex we had was the 151, like it was pretty easy for every single one of those Pokemon to stand out. Whereas now we've got over 1,000 Pokemon. It is a little bit harder for some of them to stand out. So yeah, but I'm leaning towards I think designs maybe have gotten a little worse, but at the same time I have a lot of hope. And as much as I diss on maybe Brout looking like an Angry Bird, or Gekwa looking like a little pet shop character. The designs are sick, though. They still are sick. And I'm really interested to see what Brout turns into. I'm really interested to even see what, Pom Pom turns into, too. I'm very excited about those designs, and I think they're cool. So, but yeah, I mean, what other thoughts do you have with that, Joe? Any final thoughts before we close this out?
I think you wrapped it up well. I think, it's just a lot of it also has to do with, like, hey, the first generation, me and you are in the same boat where we actually played the original Gen 1 games. There will always be a place in our heart for that. And I think Hoenn specifically for us, because Hoenn is also my favorite region as well. I think that's kind of where I, leave that off at. I don't think designs have gotten worse. I don't think they've gotten much better. I think Pokemon is still Pokemon. I think a lot of it is the change that we have faced in our own lives. But at the end of the day, as you did, I'm going to look forward to these new Evos for the starters. I think they're going to look really cool. And I hope that Brout becomes an even fatter, angrier bird. So That's where I'm at.
Bro, get fatter, get angrier. That's all I got to say. But guys, let us know in the comments below if there's a gen that really stands out to you, what you think of Pokemon designs. Have they gotten worse? Have they gotten better? And yeah, what are your favorite designs? What are your favorite designs and favorite starters from the gens? All right, guys, that is going to do it for Bros and Badges today. We will see you in the next video. But until then, Mudkip's gonna squirt us out.